today about marijuana, pot, cannabis, herb, weed, whatever you guys want to call it. I want to start off with a little story. It's kind of what inspired me to do this speech today. One of my friends' mothers a year and a half ago, in May of 2011, was diagnosed with cancer. She discovered that she had cancer in her stomach and her liver, and it was spreading to her lungs. This lady is one of the most amazing people in the world, phenomenal cook and an amazing mother. Typical mother, I know, guys. And she battled through it. She did not want to use chemotherapy. She did not want to use radioactive therapy. The doctors told her she only had 6 months to live. And she was really okay with that. She was fine with it. She accepted it. And me and my best friend, we did not. She wanted to take more of a herbal approach to cancer. Do any of you guys know who Rick Simpson is? Anybody? No? Rick Simpson is a man from Nova Scotia. That's him right there. He discovered that delta-9 tetrahydrocannabinol can actually degenerate cancer cells. That's shocking, I know, probably for some of you to hear. And the resins that he made, there's been hundreds of claims that he has saved literally hundreds of lives from just the resins, like the oils. I know some of you guys have probably had oils. I've seen the surveys. But here's the thing, though. Here's the beautiful thing. It's not smoked like most of you think. It has to be consumed because you don't get a high enough percentage of the THC in order for it to cure you, or in order for it to have an effect. This lady has never done radioactive therapy, and she is still alive and kicking today. She uses these oils every single day, and her cancer has not spread. It has not gotten worse. In fact, it has gotten better. I did not believe the story. If you guys want to watch the videos of it, it's called Run From the Cure, a Rick Simpson story. He's actually been chased out of the country by the conservative government. His house got raided for the 3rd time last year, and he's facing criminal charges for people who he has been helping, but the government calls it trafficking drugs and illegal, right? So that's one shocking thing for why marijuana should be roughly legalized. Many of you probably don't know that marijuana is actually legal in Canada for medicinal uses. However, the resin is not. The resin is actually illegal to make because it's made with alcohol, and that could potentially be dangerous when made improperly. It could, boom, right? Blow up, explosions, right? So anyways, Dr. Paul Hornby right now, he's a biochemist and a human pathologist from Simon Fraser University. He states, on quote, 12 years of our laboratory work focusing primarily on marijuana. In that time, we have been astounded at the profound efficacies and apparent safety of the plant. That's coming from a man of education, by the way, and a very well-respected guy in the cannabis culture community and from Vancouver. So here's a cool chart of stoners, just of annual American deaths. I couldn't find one from Canada, but this actually appeared in a cannabis culture magazine in Canada. There's never been an attributed death directly to marijuana, ever, in any history that anybody can put from overdosing. There's no such thing that I could find in any research. And many of you may not know as well that the Canadian government in 2000 appointed a special Senate committee on illegal drugs to do a report on the effects of marijuana and what it has in the community and in society. This report came back positive. They said that it should be legalized, that marijuana should be legalized. It was a 21-chapter report that spanned over 600 pages. It was presented in the Senate in 2002, and the Liberal government started to implement the recommendations in which this report gave. It was called the most advanced research on marijuana ever done in history by the Dutch government. And that's a pretty shocking thing coming from the Dutch. Really. So, and Stephen Harper has pretty much abolished all of that in Canada and is taking the culture out from underneath it. So, as doing this research, I mean, I've come up with many questions, questions after question after question. I guess the biggest one for me was, does prohibition work? Right? Does prohibition work? Have any of you guys been to the 420 parade in Vancouver before? No? None of you?
No, but it's huge.
It's huge. It's massive. Does prohibition work? No. First picture. That's a picture of the smoke coming from downtown Vancouver on the Georgia Street Gardens out front of the Vancouver Art Gallery. Okay, here's some more pictures of the people. This is all done legally, by the way. They've never had an incident ever in the whole history of the parade, except for once in 2009 with a man who was on alcohol. There's Mark Emery, who's the leader of the marijuana party, BC Marijuana Party, who actually is in jail and got extradited to the United States for selling seeds illegally, technically, to a state that had seeds illegal. There's another picture of Rick Simpson here. Here is Nick Diaz. He was a former Strikeforce world champion, welterweight world champion. He just fought last year for a UFC world title, which he lost a very controversial split decision. Him and his brother are huge marijuana activists. They avidly smoke it. You can find videos of them smoking it while training. It does not affect their cardio at all. It does not affect their mental ability. It does nothing. They both say that it enhances their ability to train and allows them to train harder because the pot actually helps their body heal faster from training. Okay, and Nate Diaz, by the way, November 28th is fighting for a featherweight world championship in the UFC as well. So, a DEA admin law judge, Francis Young, stated, marijuana in its natural form is one of the safest therapeutically active substances known to man. Why is this illegal? Everybody. Does anybody know? Anybody?
Textile company years ago.
Sorry?
It was a clothing textile company got into the government because hemp was cheaper for making clothing.
Absolutely, that is one reason. Anybody else? No? Pharmaceutically, this is huge. Pharmaceuticals are the #1, like, they're huge. The economy around the pharmaceutical companies and legal drugs is a massive problem in America. Canada, not so much, but I mean, imagine marijuana has multiple medicinal uses, whether it be from smoking it, using the resins for cancers, whatever. I know people who use it for Crohn's, for glaucoma, for tons of different things. Personally, know 2 people in Lethbridge alone who have medical grow cards and are legally allowed to grow it themselves. It's nothing that's ever going to be promoted, simply because if everybody could grow it in this room, that would be millions of dollars taken away from the government in pharmaceutical revenue, right? And I guess that's a theory, technician, whatever you want to call it, but I believe it is the truth, and you guys can believe it one way or not. I'd like to meet some objections. What are some of the things that you guys think? Sorry?
I got 8 minutes.
Oh, I'm at 8 minutes already. Holy. All right. I won't meet too many objections. I'm just going to wrap it up here. This is a propaganda theory from Edward Bernays from 1928 that I believe is the reason why government is the way it is and why society is run the way it is. It states, the conscious and intelligent manipulation of the organized habits and opinions of the masses is an important element in democratic society. Those who manipulate this unseen mechanism of society constitute an invisible government, which is true ruling power of our country. We are governed, our minds are molded, our tastes formed, our ideas suggested, largely by men we have never heard of. This is a logical result of the way in which our democratic society is organized. That's just what I'd like to end. All of these pictures to you guys came from cannabisculture.com, and I got direct permission from Jody Emery, who is Mark Emery's wife. I talked to her on Saturday, and she allowed me to use any photo I liked. So, if you guys want any other information, just ask. Thank you.
You're right about